In today's tutorial, let me show you how to do a round baby blanket that has 10 points, and this is a really easy pattern to be able to follow. It's just a matter of getting started so that you have the repeat pattern to work with. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to be making a round baby blanket that has 10 points just like you see here. It's all a matter of getting started properly, and once we get beyond round number 6 it becomes a repeat pattern, and they have 7, 8, 9 and 10 just as a courtesy to show you how the afghan is growing. So within today's tutorial I'm going to get you to that point in this tutorial where you can actually start doing the repeat on your own. It's very easy and I'm gonna take you through this step by step, but let's look at a smaller sample that I've done and let's cover that next. So here's a smaller example, and this is just gonna get you to the rounds that we need to do in order to do the repeat, and it really does turn out really quite nicely. And once we get on to round number 6 you're going to notice that each round will then increase as we go along. So once we get here, do you see how there's 4 double crochets that sit by themselves before the point, and the next one there will be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. What's in the next one after that? There'll be 6. What's in the next one after that will be 7. So what I need you to do is that I need you to get to this spot here so that you can do the repeat pattern so you can have a full size afghan, and it's just a matter of how we get started in order to make this work. So let's just talk quickly about the yarn. You're going to need a 5mm size H crochet hook today. You can use the yarn that it's prescribing today if you wish. It is the Bernat Super Value Ombres, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna substitute with Caron Simply Soft sparkle yarn, and it has a little bit of sparkle. It can be kind of fun at the same time, and either way, no matter what your yarn you use, as long as the yarn complements the hook, you can make this successful each and every time. Let's begin to do this work. Let's begin with the slip knot. Slip knot's quite easy, and we're going to begin. So let's chain 5. Remember the 1 on the hook never counts as 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Let's make a ring by inserting the hook into the beginning chain, yarning over, pulling through to have that first ring on here. So let's use that ring and let's begin round number 1. In round number 1, in all rounds, every time you chain 3 at the beginning it counts as a double crochet. Keep that in mind. So we're gonna chain 3. So 1, 2 and 3, and I want you to double crochet into the center of this ring. Keep this straggler down around the center of the ring so it can get stuck underneath it, and I want you to double crochet 9 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So what I want to show you here at this point is that the first chaining of 3 counts as 1, so there should be a total of these spokes. So there should be a total of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay, so you get that. So the first chaining of 3 counts as a double crochet. Once you get all the way around and you get these done, insert your hook into the top of the first chain in 3, yarn over, pull through, and that makes it conclusion for round number 1. Let's move on to round number 2. Round number 2, again really easy. So we're gonna chain up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this counts as a double crochet plus chain 1 this time around, and what we want to do is come into the very next stitch and we want to double crochet and then chain 1. Okay, come into the next stitch, double crochet and then chain 1. And you keep doing that all the way around. This is round number 2, and so this is creating a space between the double crochets that we're gonna be using in the next row. So after you get a double crochet, chain 1, and please do that all the way around. I'll see you at the end of this round. So I've double crocheted into the final stitch here, and how do I know that it's the final? So I can count these posts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. As soon as I have my 10 in there, I chain 1 and I'm going to join it to the 3rd chain of the starting one. So we chained 4 in the beginning, only go to the 3rd, and then that will keep it in balance just like this. Let's move along to round number 3. In round number 3 we want to start off in a chain space, so we're just gonna go into the next chain space, yarn over, pull through, and this is a slip stitch for that space. So we're gonna chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, which counts as a If you said a half double crochet, you're right. So we're gonna put in 2 more, sorry, if you said there's 3 and that counts as what? A double crochet. So if you said that, you're right. So let's just double crochet 2 more times into the same space. So here's the secret on this one. Every one of the chain 1 spaces is all gonna get 3 double crochets into that space. So 3 double crochets into each one of the chain 1 spaces for this complete round. Okay, so you just jump right into the next space and put in 3 double crochets. Please do that for this whole revolution. So this is what it looks like at this point. So I'm coming up all the way around the final chain 1 space. I'm gonna put in my 3 double crochets like so, and I'm going to join this to the top of the first chain 3 that I started with. So when you finish this round you should have a total of 10 of these open spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. If you have less than that, something's wrong, and if you have more than that, then something else is wrong. Let's move along to round number 4. In round number 4 we're gonna start to make the points area. So we're gonna do that next, round number 4. In round number 4 it's all about creating the spaces that we need in order to do the points, and so we're gonna begin to do that. So we're gonna chain up 3, which counts as a double crochet, and then in the very next stitch available to you, you're gonna double crochet. So the repeat patterning on this thing is that once you get that done, you're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and you're going to skip 1 stitch and then double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Okay, then you're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, miss 1 stitch and double crochet into the next 2, and you're gonna do that all the way around. This is creating the points and getting ready for you. There should be a total of 10 of them by the time you're done. So there's chaining a 2, skipping 1 stitch and double crocheting into the next 2. So please do that for this entire revolution, and you can see that it's going to start creating some open spaces for you to be able to work with in the next round. So I'm coming up near to the end, and I'm just trying to follow the pattern as per what it says. Okay, so I'm almost done, so I can count the numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Remember that I have to chain 2, okay, and there's 1 stitch left which is left empty, and then I just join it to the top of the beginning chain 3 to bring it to conclusion, and that was round number 4. So you can really kind of see that it's coming together quite nicely. Let's move up to round number 5 next. So in round number 5 we're gonna start creating the points, and the points happen in these gap spaces, but we're not here in a gap space when we start, and that just makes sense for when you're gonna see it coming together. So it says to chain 3, so 1, 2 and 3, and you want to double crochet into the next double crochet here. Now every time you're into these 2, there's gonna be a double crochet into each one of these 2 as you go, but what's gonna happen in the gap space? In the gap space what you're going to do is you're gonna put 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, followed by 2, 1 and 2, and then again 2 double crochets. That's gonna happen in the gap spaces. So these next 2 double crochets are gonna be each a double crochet, and then here we have a gap space again. So it'll be 2 double crochets followed by chain 2 and then 2 double crochets. So this is creating the foundation of getting these points started. So the next 2 are 1 double crochet each, and then you have another gap space. So it's 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Please do that all the way around. So now coming up all the way back around, and the final chain space is going to be 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. So we've already done the first double crochets that are in the next 2. So this kind of finishes this off. Let's just join it at the top, and what we need to do for round number 6 is the repeat patterning now for the rest of this, and I need to give you tips on what to look for in order to keep the patterning consistent. So let's do round number 6, and then we're going to do another round for number 7 so that you see consistency. So every time you finish a round, what you need to do is you need to slip stitch to the next point space. Okay, now it looks like in this particular one, because we're so small, that it looks like you'd have to do a whole lot of slip stitching, but as you get more and more into this you'll see that you don't. So you just want to insert your hook into the double crochets nice and loosely until you can get to the to the chain 2 space right in the corner. Okay, so in this case there was 3, and now the next one is into the chain 2 space like that. So now we're ready to begin. So whenever we start this rounds, we have to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, and we double crochet again into that same space, followed by a chain 2 and double crochet again 2 more times. So the points will always have the same thing. So what you have to pay attention to is that whenever we come down onto these middle parts in between the spokes, okay, we have to ignore the 2 middle stitches in the row. Okay, so what we have to pay attention to the most, and the most thing that I had a hard time with this in the many first years, is that when you do this, sometimes this stitch kind of looks like it's covering over top of the first one, and you don't think to get into that, you jump into the second. Now it's obvious here because of the way that I got it positioned for you, because I have experience, but most of the times this first stitch looks like it's not even there. So you have to continue to go. So get that first stitch as for a double crochet, get the next stitch, and the 2 middle stitches that are next, you're gonna completely skip over them and just skip over to the next 2 on this side. So the advantage is that each one of the spokes or the points are gonna grow the same way. So you're gonna have 2 in a row before getting to the edge, just like you did over here. So once you're on the edge, you're going to do 2 double crochets, 2 chain, and 2 double crochet. Okay, so I've just done that, and so what I need to do then is I need to go in the middle again. So I get the first one in, okay, and the next one, and I skip over the next. Okay, so the next 2 I'm gonna skip and then come into the side, so it'll be 2 going up on this side. So here's the thing, every time you go around this, you're going to be adding 1 extra of these double crochets into there. Do you really need to count it? No, not really. You gotta just look where the 2 middle are. Now that you have a gapping space that you see here, when you come around, these 2 are gonna be the ones that you're gonna skip. Okay, so you can clearly see which ones that you need to skip next time. Okay, so we're just gonna do another point here and just review. So chain 2 and 2 in. So this time again, just look for it. We're skipping the 2 middles. Okay, so you're just only gonna double crochet in the first 2, skip the 2 middle, and double crochet up on the other side. Okay, so this is the establishing of the points, and I want you to continue the same idea going all the way around. Let's go for round number 7 then, and then it's just a matter of repeating this until you get to the size of afghan that you wish. So it's quite easy from this point forward. So as you're coming back around, I'm just finishing the final point, and we want to just get in the first 2. We're skipping over the middle on the final. Okay, so skipping over the middle 2, and then you have 2 more on this side, so don't overlook that and make sure that you get the right 2 that are in there. Okay, so these are the final 2. That first one that we started off with was right into a chain 2 space. So we're just going to slip stitch it to the top of the beginning chain 3, and that concludes off round number 6. So any rounds now going from this point forward is just a matter of just getting bigger and bigger, and I'll show you how to do that next. So we're gonna have to slip stitch then to start off round number 7 and beyond. Slip stitch to the next one and slip stitch to the chain 2 space. So we're gonna chain up 3, which counts as your double crochet. You're doing your points as normal, so there will be 2 in there, and then chain 2 and 2 double crochets in there. So this time what you want to do is that you want to go down, and you're gonna skip over the 2 middle ones. They're obvious because they're kind of leaning into each other. You want to skip those. So you're gonna just start on your first one and just look for where you need to stop. Okay, so in this case it'll be 3 in a row. Okay, so the next 2 are right in the middle. You want to skip those and go back up the other side, and there will be 3 going up this side. So every time you do a round, there will be another additional stitch going up and down. Okay, you're now into the point, same as what you already know. So my very first star I ever did when I was many years ago. Basically what happened is that one of my points was way off, like really it was wonky, it was all messed up, and it turned out that I was missing the very first stitch. So I'm a loose crocheter, so you can clearly see it here, but I was missing this first one. I was skipping over to the second, and so you just gotta make sure you get into that. The other thing too is that if you're off by one stitch at any one particular row or round going all the way around, it messes with your counts for everything. So you're gonna skip the 2 middle, and so what I was happening is that on one side of the point I was having more stitches than the other side, so all of my points kinda just veered off into like a spiral. It wasn't very desirable, and that was kind of what I had messed up with, and it all came down to that very first stitch. So you're just gonna keep on growing till you get to the size afghan that you wish, and this is really quite an easy pattern. It's just a matter of getting started, and as long as you know how to handle the points, what to look for and what to skip over in the middle from this point forward, you're gonna have success each and every time. So we're gonna skip the 2 middle and then come up down the other side. So in the very first time I ever did this, I counted every stitch as I was going up and down, but if you can visually look at it and trust in yourself, this pattern will go quite simple at that. So this is how you do this particular afghan. I found that the middle kind of puckers a bit, but once you start stretching things out and the stitches start relaxing, it turns out really good. Even the back side looks really nice too. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. Have a great day, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.